All right, so I'm going to start this off with a joke. So this was a guest on our show, Spike Cohen. Please check out that interview. I don't know why that interview has got so little views. I'm wondering if it's because of the YouTube censorship or anything else of that nature, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, well, what's potentially coming around the horizon, and that is, well, you guessed it, everybody's favorite sequel, World War III. New wars on the horizon, record levels of debt, biggest tax increase in history. Say what you want about Trump's mean tweets, but if he were president right now, none of this would be happening. Posted June 19th, 2025. And we said, good one, real Spike Cohen. Because look, folks, I don't like this and I don't want to read this, but alarm as White House says Trump has not ruled out dropping nuclear weapon on Iran. Now, let's check out this article. This is from Common Dreams by Jake Johnson, posted today. The White House said Thursday that President Donald Trump has not ruled out dropping, you guessed it, a nuclear bomb on Iran as he considers options for joining Israel's escalating and increasingly deadly war, because only we have the bunker missiles necessary to destroy an underground facility or facilities anywhere. And don't worry, folks, it will be a quick war, just like how Iraq was, and nothing ever went wrong. And we found those WMDs, right? No, we didn't. An unnamed Trump administration official told Fox senior White House correspondent that none of the options are off the table. How wonderful. And the Guardian reported that the president was not considering using a tactical nuclear weapon on Iran's heavily enriched Fordow nuclear site. Trump's reported consideration of a nuclear option comes amid internal concerns that 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs the U.S. possesses within striking distance of Iran would be insufficient to destroy that facility. The massive bombs had never been used in active combat. So here, for context, let's play the video.
Correspondent Jackie Heinrich, fresh from the White House briefing. Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Martha. There have been a lot of headlines this afternoon, including one from The Guardian that claimed that the U.S. military has doubts about whether the bunker buster bombs could get the job done, and further claiming that only a tactical nuke maybe could finish it. And it further stated that the president is not considering a tactical nuke, that it was not one of the options that was presented to him. I was just told by a top official here that none of that report is true, that none of the options are off the table, and the U.S. military is very confident that bunker busters could get the job done at Fordow. The president is giving
to senior White House.
So we're going to pause here before we continue on the rest of the article. But Nick, I want to give the floor to you, my friend. Your thoughts, concerns, because here we are watching the whole world catch on fire, and we are witnessing the United States potentially being dragged into a conflict that will have U.S. forces on the ground, potentially. So take away. I want to get your thoughts here first, Nick. All right, Nick, I believe you're muted. Hold on. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can unmute you. I think... All right, Nick, why don't you rejoin in? Why don't you log on and rejoin in? Sorry about that. All right, so apologies for that delay there. Sorry, folks. The Rumble stuff is sort of new to us. So let's go ahead and break this down with the entire situation of the bombs that are dropping, or either that what is happening. So first of all, the Trump administration ran on being anti-war, and I'm pretty sure we all remember where Tulsi Gabbard did bring up the fact that Iran is not developing weapons of mass destruction. We did talk about that as well. We even played a video of Tulsi Gabbard even talking about, you guessed it, what we saw was Hiroshima. So I want to bring in my guest co-host again. So there you go. Nick, take it away.
Okay, can you hear me now?
5x5.
Okay. So there's a lot going on here, right? First of all, what's a tactical nuke? I actually Googled that in preparation for talking to you today, and I have it here. A tactical nuke, also known as a non-strategic nuclear weapon, is designed for use on the battlefield in contrast to a strategic nuclear weapons, which are intended for long-range attacks. This is a nuke, okay? Mm-hmm. So if we're going to put boots on the ground and we're going to go set off nuclear bombs in Iran, which, let's be clear and just remind everyone, this is a regime change war. They do not have a nuclear weapon. Every intelligence agency has said they do not have a nuclear weapon. They were not trying to build a nuclear weapon. So this is a regime change war. And we are going to go in there and we are going to start World War III. And why is that? Putin's warned against us going into Iran, setting off any kind of nuclear weapon. Pakistan has said they will nuke Israel. Pakistan has nuclear weapons. They will nuke Israel if anyone nukes Iran. This is nuts. Like, this has escalated to a point of no return. If one of these things happen, it's going to set off a chain reaction of events. I cannot believe, after all the rhetoric that Mr. Trump has said over really his entire 10 years in politics here, about getting out of the Middle East and staying out of wars and all this stuff, that he has been duped so hard into the point where we are on the brink of going to war with Israel against Iran over nothing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the fact that Pakistan could potentially, again, there's everyone's talking right now, but let's put in this, in my opinion, this hypothetical scenario. Okay. So anybody threatens to nuke Iran, Pakistan has threatened to launch a retaliatory strike against Israel. Pakistan and India have a back and forth fight. Does that mean India will retaliate with nukes to Pakistan? Remember, Pakistan and India.
India is in alliance with Israel.
Yes, and there's also the fact of India and Pakistan share a border with China. Does that mean dragging in China? China also shares a border with Russia. Russia and the United States have a back and forth with what's going on in Ukraine. And by the way, Russia's missiles are pointed at our major metropolitan cities, as are our missiles pointed at Russia's cities. Same thing for Beijing. Likewise, back and forth. And listen, I just want to
let's not forget about North Korea, who's aligned with Russia.
Yes, and North Korea and South Korea, they have a ceasefire. The war never ended. Okay? The war never ended there. So already a hodgepodge of disaster happening here. Now, if here's what I'm going to say again to the protesters who showed up for the No Kings March. I've heard that there's a sequel. There's going to be a sequel. On July 4th, there's going to be a sequel to the No Kings March. Listen, you guys might not be around to do that sequel. Everybody who showed up in Philly, in NYC, and yes, even Chicago strong. Okay, you guys need to be out there in the streets this weekend, and every single day, everyone needs to be calling their congressman and woman, because here's just adding a little bit more to what Nick wrote here. Here's a tweet that's in the Common Dreams article. References to tactical nuclear weapons in this otherwise great Guardian story are misleading. The U.S. would drop a strategic B-61-1111 nuclear Earth penetrator with a yield of 300 to 400 kilotons. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were 15 to 21 kilotons. So already these things that we're going to be dropping are going to be far more devastating than what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And once again, sorry to sound like a broken record here, folks. I visited the Hiroshima Memorial Museum. All right. And I'm going to say this to you, my audience, and even you, Nick. Maybe all of you are built stronger and better than me. But for me, when I walked out of there as a shaken, changed individual. I walked in there as one person, and then I walked out there with a whole other completely different mindset. I don't wish that on any city, any person, even my own worst enemy. I don't like that. I don't like what I saw. And we have weapons that are far more devastating now than what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
And right, it's not just us.
Yeah.
And it's all those other countries we listed. It's Europe. It's everyone. When we dropped the nuclear bomb, which, by the way, friendly reminder, the only country ever to drop a nuclear bomb, that's us in the U.S. And the fact that we were able to do that was because nobody else had the capabilities. Now, so many other countries have nuclear weapons at their disposal that this will start a chain reaction that will literally, most likely, end civilization as we know it.
Exactly.
And I don't think enough people, because we're, tactical nuke. Oh, we're just going to, blow up this mountain. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. This is crazy that the media isn't talking about this. Like, this is the only thing we should be talking about is how to come to peace agreements so that we don't escalate this into the point where we're dropping any kind of nuclear weapon anywhere, any country.
And just to add a little bit more to your point here, just so everyone understands this. If it gets to the point to where nukes are dropping, it's not going to be like how TV and the movies and the video games show, oh, fun atomic adventure. No, this is it.
Hide in your closet.
No, like no one is going to survive this, and the survivors will envy the dead, and we will not get to this point of civilization ever again. So much of the world will be irradiated and wasted away because of what? Money, ego, pride, religion. Where I am ever hopeful that Thomas Massie is able to get Congress to at least stop Trump from using his war powers. But again, you know,
I don't even know if they can. They certainly don't have the will.
Yeah,
they definitely don't have the will. If they could, I don't even know if they can.
That is true. You know what? Here's the thing. I hope that he's going to put every effort possible to do this. Can he pull it off? I think he's going to try, but Trump, knowing who he is, if he's really dead set on us getting involved, and it's going to happen. And at this point, the consequences, who knows? It's a flip of a coin, but I don't want anyone to flip that coin. Go ahead, Nick.
I do sense, like with Trump, there is something in him that is questioning whether or not involvement of the U.S. is correct. It's maybe the tiniest little sliver in his brain, but the fact that he was going to make a decision yesterday and then delayed his decision yesterday, like there's a hesitancy in him that all of these people around him that know we shouldn't be doing this, that are not part of the military-industrial complex, which will cease to exist if nuclear war breaks out, by the way, they need to poke at that piece of him that is hesitating, because that's the part that we need to tap into in Trump in order to stop this from happening.
Exactly. So, so here's the thing. so here's the thing. I'm going to play a video here. Where it's the benefit of where it's only 42 seconds, but I want to play this.
It is interesting to see this play out, except it's on the right, not left and right.
It's delicious and interesting, but you have a Russian propagandist with a man, Ted Cruz, that is a rapture prepper. And what's lost in all of this is the American public. How does this serve the United States of America? Everybody in Israel has health care. Nobody goes bankrupt because they have cancer. But in the United States, we don't, yet we send them aid. And so what's lost in this entire message is all of this propaganda just gets pushed into the news cycle. It's how does this benefit a country that is breaking every single day?
It is interesting to see this play out, except it's on the right, not left and right.
It's delicious and interesting, but you have a Russian propagandist with a man, Ted Cruz, that is a rapture prepper. And what's lost in all of this is the American public. How does this serve the United States of America? Everybody in Israel has health care. Nobody goes bankrupt because they have cancer. But in the United States, we don't, yet we send them aid. And so what's lost in this entire message is all of this propaganda just gets pushed into the news cycle. It's how does this benefit a country that is breaking every single day?
It is interesting to see this play out, except it's on the right, not left and right.
It's delicious and interesting, but you have a Russian propagandist.
So there you go. I want to pause here. So again, sorry about that playing on replay, but there you go, folks. Nick, your thoughts?
I'm surprised that was allowed to be said on CNN. So kudos to them. But that's exactly it. I mean, we've been busting at the seams here in the United States from an economical standpoint. Homelessness is up over 600,000 people. It's like infrastructures, bridges are breaking, no high-speed rail, jobs are non-existent, barely any type of industrial work for people here. The Midwest is, we live in the Midwest. It's completely gutted. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Nation or regime changing and nation building in the Middle East. And by the way, there will be nothing to rebuild in the Middle East again, as I just want to keep stressing, if nuclear war breaks out.
I also want to play
be vaporized in seconds.
I also want to play one other video here, just so that everyone can see it firsthand. And I am ever appreciative of people tuning in and watching right now. But again, thank you everybody for tuning in, for your support and watching us. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. But I want to play one other video here. All right. Well, not actually one other video. I just want to just read this statement here. Sorry about this. So there is an anti-war movement that is happening here. It's from the Common Dreams article. The anti-war movement is working, said advocacy group Demand Progress. There are Iran war power votes coming up in Congress soon. Time to keep up the pressure. Use the tool 1-8333-STOP-WAR.com or call 1-8333-STOP-WAR to connect with offices after entering your zip code. Folks, there will be a point of no return if we don't address this problem. All right. If we don't stop this ridiculous war, because if we don't, that's it. It's the end of human civilization. It's the end of our society, and there is no going back. We're better than this, folks. We're smarter than this. And if we don't stop this now, that's it. That's the end of us.
Do you think we have the power to stop it? I don't feel like, I mean, you and I talk about this all the time. We don't protest the right way. We don't protest for things. We protest against people. But I don't know that, I don't think that the American people, by and large, know how close this is or how dangerous this actually is, because the media isn't covering it the right way. They're not covering it from the perspective of what could really happen. And I think that we've been void of so much of the war that, you know, happens in the Middle East, and it doesn't really happen on our soil. So I think people are, you know, not on purpose, but ignorant to what the cost of war is on your land. And I think that people just don't know. But even if they did know, I have a hard time imagining that unless everybody quits their job and gets in the streets and shuts down capitalism until this is stopped, I don't know that anyone really has the power to stop it, because we don't know how to protest.
I will go ahead and bring this up here, and that is to answer your question. Do I think we could stop this? No. Something's going to happen. And we will be involved in this in one form or another. It's at a point to where either Trump backs away from this, and then in turn there's the wrath of AIPAC and money in politics, which is going to impact every single congressman and woman, or we do a self-deletion drop into annihilation in the war with Iran. There is no middle ground. There's no backing out. And the fact that the United States knew that Israel was going to bomb Iran, this is it. So, yeah, I don't think
it feels different than all of the other. It feels different than all of the other rhetoric that's been thrown around.
Yeah, I will say that. And good luck, everybody. And maybe nothing happens, but we're at the point to where there's no middle ground. You just we're marching towards it. So have a good weekend. How does that sound?